Earth is moving through space so fast. But why you never feel it? The planet under your feet is flying through the universe, spinning and racing along invisible paths. And yet here you are sitting calmly. No wind pushing your hair back, no shaking beneath your feet. Nothing to tell you that you're on the biggest ride imaginable. Think about it. If a car suddenly sped up, you'd feel it instantly. If an elevator dropped even a little, your stomach would notice. Planes, trains, rockets, everywhere else, motion makes you feel something. So why does the fastest ride ever, the one that carries you across the galaxy, feel completely still? It's strange, isn't it? Something enormous is happening all around you, yet your body feels none of it. The Earth spins. The sun carries us on its orbit. Our galaxy drifts through space, and you just go about your day like nothing is moving. This little mystery is not only fascinating, it's a window into how motion works, how our senses work, and even how the universe sneaks past us without a notice. And once you understand it, it changes the way you think about everything around you. Earth is moving through space all the time, not just spinning on its axis, but also flying around the sun. And the sun, it's not standing still either. The sun is moving through the galaxy. And the galaxy itself is moving too. That's a lot of motion. But here's the strange part. Even with all that speed, you don't feel a thing. Not one push, pull, shake, or wobble. It's like being on a ride that goes faster than anything you can imagine, and somehow your body doesn't notice. Why is that? To answer it, let's start small. Let's think about motion that you do feel every day. Imagine you're sitting in a car. If the car starts moving slowly, you feel a push against your back. If it speeds up quickly, your stomach might lurch. If it stops fast, you feel yourself bump forward. Your body reacts because it can sense changes in speed. Even little changes matter. That's called acceleration. Now, here's the first key idea. Your body doesn't notice motion unless there's a change in speed or direction. Constant speed. You barely feel it. Zero bumps, zero pushes. That's why when you're cruising on a smooth highway at 60 MPH, you don't feel like you're moving at all. You just look out the window and see the world flying by. Your body only reacts to the changes, not the steady motion. Earth is different from a car in one way. It doesn't speed up or slow down in a way you can feel. Even though it spins and moves around the sun at hundreds of miles per hour, it does so smoothly. Smooth rotation, smooth orbit, smooth motion through the galaxy. There are no sudden starts or stops for your body to notice. It's like floating in a spaceship that has its engines on, but moving perfectly steady. You wouldn't feel the speed because there's no change to detect. Another thing to think about is gravity. Snort's gravity holds us on the Earth. It keeps your feet on the ground, keeps the oceans from flying off, and keeps the atmosphere wrapped around us. Gravity also means that as Earth spins, you're moving along with it. There's no relative motion between you and the ground. The floor, the air, your chair, and your body, all of it is moving together. Because everything around you moves at the same speed, your senses don't notice any motion. It's the same reason you don't feel the train moving if you're walking inside a train car that's gone smoothly. Everything moves together so it feels still. Now let's add another layer. The Earth spins on its axis, which makes day and night. The speed at the equator is around 1,000 MPH. That sounds crazy fast, but we don't feel that speed at all. Why? Two reasons. One, it's smooth. Two, there's no change in speed for our bodies to notice. Another example, if you spin a record on a turntable slowly and smoothly, your finger resting on it feels nothing strange. If the record suddenly jerks, then you feel it. Same idea with Earth. Next, think about orbiting the sun. Earth moves about 67,000 MPH along its orbit. That's mind-boggling. But again, there's no sudden acceleration to tell your body anything is happening. You're moving in a giant curve. But the curve is gentle, almost like being on a long, smooth bend in a highway. Your body just keeps moving along with the planet. Snorts, you don't notice it, because your frame of reference, the Earth, the air, your chair, moves together. Even the sun's motion through the galaxy or the galaxy's motion through space follows the same principle. The speed is enormous, but everything moves steadily and smoothly. There's no jolt, bump, or shake. That's why you can live your whole life without ever feeling the Earth or the galaxy racing through space. Another way to think about it is with water. Imagine you're floating in a calm river that's moving fast. The water is rushing past rocks and trees on the shore. If you're floating with the water, you don't feel the speed at all. You only feel the speed if the water suddenly swirls, bumps, or changes direction. Earth is like that calm river, and we are floating along with it. Our senses are also designed to detect relative motion. That means they notice movement compared to something else. If you're standing on the ground, your body only notices motion relative to the ground. Since the ground is moving along with you, your body feels zero motion. If you were somehow floating far from Earth, you would suddenly notice the motion relative to stars and planets. That's why astronauts feel weightless and notice motion differently. They are no longer moving with a planet that keeps them in sync. Even wind and atmosphere play a role. If Earth had no air, we wouldn't feel wind because there would be none. But we also wouldn't feel Earth moving because there's no reference. The air around you moves with the planet, so nothing pushes against you. It all feels perfectly still. That's part of why flying through space is invisible to our senses. Everything around us moves together. One more thing, our inner ears also help detect motion. They sense acceleration, tilting, and changes in position. But smooth, constant motion doesn't trigger them. That's why you can lie on a smooth, fast-moving train, close your eyes, and barely notice speed. But as soon as it jerks or breaks, your inner ear reacts. Earth's motion never jerks. That's why you feel calm, even while the planet flies through the universe. So far, we've seen three main reasons why you never feel Earth moving. Motion is smooth without sudden acceleration. Everything around you, ground, air, buildings, moves with you. Your senses only detect changes, not steady motion. Here's a curious thought. You are actually on a giant invisible spaceship. It's moving through space at speeds your mind can barely imagine. Yet you feel completely still. You don't feel it because your body and everything around you are all part of that same ship. And yet, even though you don't feel it, that motion is real. Satellites, telescopes, and physics experiments measure it all the time. Every second, the Earth spins orbits and travels through space, and the universe keeps moving around you. It's happening whether you notice it or not. It's a little mind-bending. Something huge, unstoppable, and invisible carries you along, yet your body and mind feel perfectly ordinary. That's why motion is not just about speed. It's about relative movement and change. You feel changes, not constant motion. That's the secret. And once you see it, it makes you look at the world differently. You realize that a calm, quiet day on Earth is actually a miracle of smooth motion. The planet, the sun, the galaxy, all moving, all flying through space, yet you can sit, walk, and sleep without even knowing. That's kind of incredible, isn't it? Even though you can't feel the Earth moving, we have plenty of ways to know that it is. You might think, if I can't feel it, how do we know it's real? That is a fair question. Our senses can be fooled, and motion without bumps or jolts is almost invisible to us. But when we look carefully, we see clues everywhere. The first clue is the sun itself. Every day, it rises and sets. At first, it might seem like the sun is moving around the Earth. But if you watch carefully over the year, the path of the sun changes slightly. Seasons change. Shadows get longer or shorter. This is evidence that Earth is moving, not the sun. It spins on its axis, making day and night, and it orbits the sun, giving us the year. By watching the patterns of the sun and the stars, people realized long ago that the Earth must be moving even if they couldn't feel it. Another clue comes from the stars. At night, if you watch the sky for a few hours, you notice that stars slowly move across the sky. Sometimes they shift over weeks or months. This motion is subtle, but it tells us that our viewpoint is changing. If Earth was standing still, the stars wouldn't appear to move in such patterns. They would stay fixed. The fact that the sky changes over time is like looking out the window of a train. Even if you don't feel the speed, the scenery moves past you, giving away the motion. The way objects fall on Earth also hints at movement. If the Earth were perfectly still and flat, things would fall straight down. But Earth is spinning, and even though it spins smoothly, it affects motion in small, measurable ways. For example, objects falling from tall towers or rockets launched into the air are slightly deflected because of the spin. These deflections are tiny and we don't notice them in daily life, but careful experiments reveal them. They are proof that the ground beneath us is moving. Falling water in rivers, ocean currents, and winds also carry subtle signs of the planet's motion. Currents curve, winds twist, and storms rotate. These patterns are influenced by the rotation of the Earth. You may not feel the spin when standing on a calm beach, but the water and air tell the story. They respond to forces you cannot feel directly, but science can measure. Even more convincing evidence comes from modern tools. Satellites, for instance, orbit the Earth at incredible speeds. They move in precise paths that depend on the Earth spinning beneath them. GPS systems, weather satellites, and communication satellites all rely on the Earth's motion. Without accounting for the movement, the systems would fail. Engineers and scientists measure speed, direction, and position to an extraordinary degree. This is proof that Earth is moving. And yet, despite all this motion, a person standing outside would feel nothing unusual. Imagine for a moment being in space, floating above the Earth. You would see it spinning, orbiting the sun, and carrying continents, oceans, and clouds along with it. You would see motion clearly, but from the ground, everything feels still. That difference between what you can measure and what you can feel is at the heart of why Earth's motion is invisible to our senses. Even the fact that airplanes can fly straight and smooth over long distances proves Earth is moving in a steady way. Pilots do not have to fight a sudden jolt caused by the Earth's speed. The air, the ground, and everything on Earth move together, allowing flight to be predictable. Smooth motion hides enormous. That is why traveling thousands of miles on Earth feels no different than traveling a few blocks in your city. Our bodies are tuned for changes, not constants. The inner ear senses acceleration, tilting, and sudden movement. Muscles and joints detect resistance or pull. But steady motion, no matter how fast, remains invisible to our senses. The Earth spins, orbits, and flies through the galaxy in a constant rhythm. There is no jolt, no sudden tug, no change for our senses to pick up. That is why life feels calm. It is not that the motion isn't there. It is enormous. Snorts, it is faster than anything you can imagine, but it is invisible because it is smooth. Think about being in a boat floating on a calm river. The water moves steadily past the shore. You feel as if you are sitting still. If the boat hits a bump, you feel it instantly. Earth's motion is like the calm river carrying everything along in one steady movement. Our bodies, the ground, the air, and even the oceans are all part of this flowing system. You cannot feel the speed because everything is moving together. This idea can be extended even further. If Earth suddenly stopped spinning or changed speed, we would notice instantly oceans would surge. The atmosphere would rush violently and everything not tied down would be flung across the surface. The fact that we don't feel this is because the motion has been steady for billions of years. There is no sudden start or stop. Life has adapted to the motion so perfectly that our senses never pick it up. Even tiny experiments reveal motion we cannot feel. Scientists drop objects from tall towers and measure their paths. They notice tiny deviations caused by the Earth's rotation. Launch rockets and track them precisely, and you can calculate the planet's speed. These motions are real, measurable, and enormous, but invisible to our everyday senses. Our bodies are like passengers in a smooth, high-speed train that never jerks. The ride is fast but calm. Imagine lying on a hammock, feeling the breeze, reading a book. You are moving along with the planet at incredible speed, but you feel only the gentle sway of the hammock and the wind. This is the paradox. Enormous, incredible motion happening, and yet our senses detect only calm. That is why we live our entire lives unaware of the Earth's journey through the universe. Even stars and galaxies far away provide clues. Their light shifts slightly because of motion. These shifts, called Doppler effects, allow astronomers to measure speeds across unimaginable distances. Earth's motion affects these measurements, and without accounting for it, we could not make sense of what we see. All of this motion is undeniable when measured, but still invisible to our senses on the ground. It is also worth thinking about time. The Earth's motion is constant, steady, and rhythmic. Day and night repeat in a perfect cycle. Seasons change predictably. Everything moves in a flow that our senses interpret as stillness. We are carried along by an enormous cosmic machine, yet our bodies feel perfectly ordinary. That is one of the most fascinating things about life on this planet. Enormous invisible motion hiding in plain sight. Even airplanes, rockets, and satellites confirm what we cannot feel. They move smoothly because the Earth's motion is steady. They do not experience jolts from the planet's speed. Engineers design flight paths assuming constant motion, and it works perfectly. Everything on Earth and near it is moving together, making enormous speed invisible to us. You could think of the Earth as the ultimate invisible vehicle, and yet you feel calm. You could close your eyes, breathe slowly, and never know the enormous speed of the ground, the air, and the oceans beneath you. That is the magic of smooth motion. You live on a planet racing through space, yet your life feels ordinary, and this is only part of the story. There is even more to understand about motion, gravity, and how the universe carries us along in ways we can hardly imagine. The fact that we can measure motion without feeling it is one of the most beautiful insights about our world. It shows that life is full of invisible forces, enormous journeys, and secrets hidden in plain sight. By now, you probably understand something strange but incredible. Earth is spinning, orbiting, and flying through the galaxy at speeds that are almost impossible to imagine. And yet we feel completely still. Why is that? The answer comes from how motion works and how our senses work. Our senses are built to notice changes, not constant motion. Your inner ear reacts when you tilt, speed up, or slow down. Your muscles notice when there is a push or pull. Your stomach feels jolts and drops when acceleration is sudden. But if the motion is smooth and steady, your body doesn't notice it at all. That is why even though Earth spins at 1,000 MPH at the equator and orbits the sun at 67,000 MPH, your body feels nothing. Everything moves together with you. Ground, air, buildings, trees, ocean. When there is no relative motion, there is no feeling of movement. Imagine being on a massive cruise ship gliding across a calm ocean. Even if the ship is moving at an incredible speed, you don't feel it. The deck? Only when the ship changes speed or hits waves do you notice motion. The Earth is like that ship, only unimaginably larger, smoother, and faster. Everything on it moves in sync with you, hiding enormous motion from your senses. Think about satellites orbiting the Earth. They move with precision at incredible speeds. They track the planet's motion, yet someone standing on the surface feels nothing. Engineers and scientists rely on measurements, not feelings, because smooth, steady motion cannot be sensed by the human body. This shows the difference between reality and perception. An enormous real motion happening all around you, invisible to your senses. Even the air we breathe helps hide motion. Our atmosphere moves with the Earth flowing together with oceans, land, and everything on it. There is no wind caused by the planet's speed because the air moves along at the same pace. If it didn't, we would feel a constant blast of wind at unimaginable force. Instead, we feel only gentle breezes, currents, and storms, all local effects unrelated to the planet's motion. Another mind-bending point is gravity. Gravity holds everything in place, pulling equally on you, the ground and the oceans. As Earth spins and races through space, gravity makes sure nothing is flung off or left behind. Your body moves with the planet, and there is no relative force to signal that you are moving. The combination of smooth motion and gravity creates the perfect illusion of stillness. Even stars, planets, and galaxies provide clues if you look carefully. The sun rises and sets. Stars drift across the sky, and the patterns of the heavens shift slowly over the year. These movements are subtle, but they are evidence of motion. When measured, the planet's speed is enormous. But because the motion is constant and smooth, your senses experience calm. Life feels normal even while Earth races through space at unimaginable speeds. Imagine lying on your bed at night looking out a window. Everything seems calm. You feel the floor under you, the air around you, the gentle sway of the house. You are on a planet spinning, orbiting, and drifting through space. Yet your mind and body experience nothing unusual. You are living on a cosmic roller coaster that is so perfectly smooth that it feels like nothing at all. This is the secret. Motion is not about speed alone. Motion is about change. Constant speed, no matter how fast, is invisible to our senses. That is why we can walk, run, sleep, eat, and live our daily lives without feeling the enormous speed of the planet. Everything around you moves together. There are no sudden jolts, no sudden pushes, nothing for your senses to detect, and so you feel still. It is also a reminder of how our perception of reality works. We often think that speed should be obvious, that if something is moving fast, we should feel it. But the universe is full of motion we cannot feel. The Earth, the sun, the galaxy, they move in ways our senses are not equipped to detect. And that is not a flaw. It is a wonder. It allows life to exist in calm and safety on a planet racing through space. Now you can see it clearly. You don't feel Earth moving because its motion is smooth. Everything around you moves with you and your senses only detect change. That is it. Simple yet incredible. You are sitting on the fastest ride in the universe, moving farther and faster than anything you have ever experienced, yet feeling perfectly still. And maybe that is the most beautiful part. You are living every day on an invisible high-speed journey through space. You are part of a grand motion that stretches across the galaxy, beyond the sun, beyond the stars. Yet your body experiences calm. Your life feels ordinary. And when you understand this, you start to wonder about everything else you cannot feel. You start to see the universe as full of hidden motion, invisible forces and secrets that make your ordinary life extraordinary. So the next time you walk, run, or lie down to sleep, remember this. The calm you feel is riding on top of unimaginable speed. Earth is spinning, orbiting, and drifting through space, and you are moving with it perfectly. You don't feel it because everything moves together and motion is only felt when it changes. And that right there is why life feels still even while you are flying through the universe. It is not just a fact, it is a kind of magic. The universe is moving, racing, and spinning in ways your senses cannot detect. And yet somehow you live calmly inside it, carried along by the largest, fastest, smoothest ride imaginable. And maybe that is the most incredible thing of all. The universe moves and we move with it perfectly unaware.